Hello there, a great evening to you indeed, and many thanks for joining us on Rwanda Television News tonight. We do hope you had yourselves a productive day and a great start to the first week of the last month of 2023. Good evening and welcome to our edition. This is what makes our top stories. The best performing students in the 2022-2023 high school living examinations say the advice given to them by parents and teachers helped them to do well in the exams. The Rwandan government has reaffirmed its commitment to enhancing the mining sector, aiming to maximize the value derived from its abundant resources. And to international matters, posts from the actual and ideological battlefields of the Israel-Hamas war have been polarizing young people in the United States, sometimes leading to threats of violence.
Adults. Brandon Lee.
We are very glad to have your company tonight on Rwanda Television News as we kick off our edition. The best performing students in the 2022-2023 high school living examination say the advice given to them by parents and teachers helped them to do well in the exams. Boys performed far better than girls this year. We do have the report with Adam Squizera.
Elisa Nachinanimana was the best performing student in the country in the technical and vocation training category, specializing in electricity from Champions Technical Secondary School in Rwamagana district. There were 2 months that I spent only studying at school, and at that time I became last in school with just 2.5 points, but that was because of the family issues. This time around, I could do my revision work at home in the living room with my books, with no problem and understanding our limited resources, so my heart was in the right place. Other best performing students from different parts of the country attributed their success to the advice they received from their parents and teachers. When you understand why you are at school and avoid getting distracted, that you are to study, you do well. I'm happy to have turned out to be among the best performing girls. It required hard work, attention to detail, and to do as you told in a timely fashion. The parents attribute their children's success to the quality education they receive. I attribute my child's success to the government of national unity, and he did tell me that we will do well. Saying he will be the best performer, the government put in the necessary efforts to ensure that they studied a variety of subjects. Of the 17 performing students from the general education, teachers training colleges, and technical secondary schools, only 2 are girls. Boys and girls compete at the same level of performance, but girls generally underperform during the national exams because they get nervous. There are girls that are best performers in their class during regular exams, but when it comes to the national level, they are beaten by boys that usually don't even come among the top 4. We try to help the girls by providing counseling, but the truth is that when girls are in their adolescent years, they are easily distracted. The government has continued to work to ensure that the larger numbers of high school graduates makes it to the university. Universities will begin recruiting those students, and we just know how many among them make it. But the number has been steadily increasing. That in turn leads to high numbers of university graduates every year, be at the University of Rwanda and in private universities. We are yet to hit our target figures, but we are happy about the fact that they have been rising with each passing year, which is why we are confident that many more students will have the opportunity to complete their university studies. 99.5% of the 80,525 students who registered for the national exams actually sat for them. 42,641 females, 48,699 studied general education, 28,192 were in technical vocation training, while 4,001 were in teacher training colleges. The pass rate for boys and girls in general education was 96.8 and 93.6% respectively. In TTCs, it was at 99.8 to 99.6%, while in technical vocation schools, it was 97.7% for boys compared to 97.5% for girls.
From education to mining, the Rwandan government has reaffirmed its commitment to enhancing the mining sector, aiming to maximize the value derived from its abundant resources. This comes as lithium is the latest precious mineral to be discovered in the country. Lithium is a key commodity for global electrification ambitions, as it is the central chemical element for dominant battery chemistries. Jean-Malik Kalima, the chairman of the Rwanda Mining Association, explains about the discovery.
Lithium, today lithium is one of the products needed on the international market because lithium is we are using the lithium now in the electrical use, especially in car. Today Rwanda is one of the countries which now producing lithium, and we are now encouraging our investors to see how we can process the lithium instead of exporting raw material of lithium. We can see how we can make it as a final product which will be more profitable than selling the raw materials, as you are using. You are always use other 3 T's.
Thank you, thank you.
While officiating the opening of the 6th edition of the Rwanda Mining Week, Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente indicated that the government is considering ways to help those in the sector to increase productivity.
Additionally, extensive mineral exploration works are ongoing to determine the mineral reserve estimates to pitch the potential investment in the sector. Mineral resources data will mobilize strategic mining investment. Will be also important to address the challenge of access to finance. Moreover, the government is exploring viable solutions to support mines development to ensure increased production, safety, and environmental conservation. These interventions will complement efforts aimed at diversifying the mineral portfolio to incorporate emerging resources like lithium and rare earth elements.
Of the 116 mining companies in Rwanda, 22, equivalent to 16%, are owned by women, including Vestine Kamugera, who started GMDC, operating in Nyarugenge district. She believes that if done professionally, mining has many benefits. Since I started a professional mining, my earnings increased. We increased the workforce from 35 to 450 employees, and production increased from 2 to 12 tons per month. GMDC is the 3rd company countrywide involved from mining. I encourage Rwandan women to join the mining sector so that we can collectively develop our country.
From this,
the Rwandan Prime Minister called for collective collaboration in order to achieve the set goals.
Our national strategy for transformation sets an ambitious target for the mining sector to become a $1.5 billion industry by 2024. We recognize the potential in the mining industry, and we believe that this sector should be our country's economic backbone, especially in revenue generation and job creation. But achieving it requires a concerted effort to enhance compliance with industry standards by all actors, investing in cutting-edge technologies, and give a priority to human capital development.
In the third quarter of this year, minerals earned the country $241 million. Rwanda set a goal to increase the mining sector revenues up to $1.5 million in 2024, up from $700 million last year. And to security matters, analysts on regional security matters, especially the DR Congo conflict, expressed concern about the security of local residents following the withdrawal of the East African regional force that started today and in the recent days, as we have the details with Adam Squizera.
There are only 2 weeks left in the Democratic Republic of Congo presidential elections kick off. It's going to happen when the East African regional forces began to withdraw before their mandate ends on 8th December, as it was included in the resolutions of the 22nd Extraordinary Summit that held in Nairobi, Kenya in September this year. A senior journalist, Mark Hostens and Gateteru Humuriza, an analyst who closely follows the security situation in the Democratic Republic of Congo, highlights the major cause of this withdrawal of the ECROF forces.
But remember, so now when the East African force comes, it says we're going to oversee the implementation of peace. M23 says we are fighting for our survival, for our right to life, to exist in our own country. So you cannot fight a group that speaks like that, because they say whatever you agree, we will implement. So that's why the East African force, so basically they removed the reason, the casus belli, they removed the reason for anyone to engage them in combat, even though they are able to defend them.
And EAC didn't want to fight M23, but just wanted to position itself as a force, as a tampon force between the fighting factions. The FRD started to boycott them, and started turning public opinion against the EAC. And the mandate of the EAC finishes now on the 8th. So they decided that they don't need the EAC rapid force anymore. So now the EAC rapid force is withdrawing, or starting to withdraw.
At the beginning, last night, more than 100 Kenyan soldiers who were on this mission in DRC returned home, as was mentioned in the announcement released by the military of this country, whereas it is expected that close to 300 soldiers will be arriving in Kenya. Subsequently, in the coming days, backloading of equipment and troop movement will progress by the road and air for the ECROF troops respectively. Notably to that, ECROF will be handing over security responsibilities in the eastern DRC to SADC forces. The President of Kenya, William Ruto, during the 23rd EAC Heads of State Summit, promised the people in the eastern DRC that they would never be abandoned by the member states of the East African community.
Even as we agreed this morning on the subject of eastern DRC and the security challenges there, that as East Africans, we will not walk away from the people of Eastern DRC. We are going to agree on a methodology with our brothers from SADC on how that whole situation is going to be handled in a manner that respects the wishes of the people of DRC and in a manner that makes sure that there is no vacuum and the situation in DRC is handled in the best way possible to the benefit of the people of DRC and to the benefit of the people of East African community, because they are our brothers and sisters and they deserve our solidarity.
However, regional analysts on the security issues in the eastern DRC expressed concern for the security of people who are going to stay there, which could result to the killings in some of these areas that were under control of these East African regional forces.
So now the East African force will go, and my only fear is that this vacuum, especially in this very sensitive period of elections, if there was killings of civilians, because you have many Rwanda-speaking Congolese who are under threat in the DRC and they're frequently killed. So that vacuum left there is what worries me.
Sure. For Mark Hosens, he finds that most important thing is to restore peace and security in this region of the Great Lakes, which he finds that can further promote the cooperation between the countries in the East African community.
The EAC, economically, countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda, and also in a way Burundi, but Burundi is another story. They need the Kivus to do business. For them it's important, import, export. They want to develop their economies. They want to sell goods, they want to buy goods, they want to import goods. They just want to do business in a regular way. So, but for Congo this is not the case. So, where does it go? I mean, East African countries want peace in this region.
The East African Regional Forces went to the Democratic Republic of Congo, where they found United Nations Mission Troops, MONUSCO, which has been there for more than 25 years. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Thank you, Adams. The Human Rights Commission's report presented to the Senate on Monday reveals that individuals aged 18 to 35, constituting 76% of the total, were the predominant group admitted to the rehabilitation centers.
Kagabo Hussein and Ndachaisenga Issa serve as instances of individuals who underwent a correctional program and have undergone a positive transformation as a result of the lessons and knowledge they gained. We learned the hands-on skills in the Iwawa Rehabilitation Center. We got certificates and the leadership helped us to form cooperatives. We also got a place to work from with the help from the City of Kigali administration, which we do not rent. As we continue to make progress, we would be more happy to see others change, drawing inspiration from us. Opting to become exemplary figures within their communities, Kagabo Hussein and Ndachaisenga Issa, upon reintegration into their families, actively contributed to dispelling the negative reputation associated with them, stemming from the past involvement in theft, drug use, prostitution, and security-related issues. In my village, residents can give you my testimony. They can tell you that by 7 p.m. I'm already home, up for work by 6 a.m. in the morning. My children have no problem, and we have peace at home. We got all this with the help from our government. During the Senate presentation of the audit report conducted in 5 rehabilitation centers across the country, Murungi Providence, the chairperson of the National Commission for Human Rights, highlighted that 76% of the individuals admitted to these facilities fall within the age range of 18 to 35. Additionally, 48% were implicated in the theft and drug use, while another 22% were readmitted due to relapse. This is a sign that accurate measures are required. All agencies, be it the Ministry of Local Government, the Ministry of Gender and Family Promotion, the Ministry of Education, and other institutions. The fact that people go back into rehabilitation centers is a sign that some things are not cared for. According to the findings of the Human Rights Committee, the correlation between education and family influence is evident, yet it is also contingent on school dropout rates. The report indicates that 79% of individuals in rehabilitation centers did not complete primary education. Furthermore, 20% lack basic literacy skills, struggling with reading and writing. Considering the findings, many have not gone to school, but also many others have not completed primary education. Yet, the government subsidized the education sector. Those who drop out of school are normally the ones with the bad conducts. So, the issue of school dropout should be addressed. The effectiveness of rehabilitation programs is evident, with a notable number of participants successfully transforming their lives. However, there is a recognized need for increased efforts in informal education, particularly within families, to comprehensively address the underlying issues.
Residents in Nyanza district of the southern province of Rwanda have been receiving affordable smartphones thanks to the initiative being championed by Airtel Rwanda. Provincial authorities have been urging them to use their smartphones to access government services that they usually queue for. We have the details.
For just 20,000 Rwandan francs, a person is able to get a smartphone from Airtel with 30 GB of internet connectivity, as well as calling packs that last a month as long as they buy airtime worth 1,000 Rwandan francs. I had been able to get a smartphone, and I thank the President of the Republic for this opportunity. It will help me talk to loved ones as well as do other things a regular phone could not. It will help me to access the internet and watch the news. This is development. Airtel says it is proud to work with the government on this initiative.
We are here to provide 1.2 million phones at the same cost. If we are not able to fulfill the demand, we will get more phones. So we are committed to the cause of the government. As a operator, we want to help government to accelerate the digitization in Rwanda.
The smartphones will also enable people to access government services without having to travel long distances. These smartphones will help them to access basic information on a daily basis, as well as weather forecast information they can use for their agricultural activities, but most importantly, access services that require them to physically go to government offices to seek assistance from Irembo agents. Such services can be used in matters of trade, as well as other development initiatives, not to mention educational matters. 21,000 smartphones were expected to be distributed in Nyanza district on Monday, with a total of 130,000 Airtel smartphones to be distributed in the southern province, each worth more than 70,000 Rwandan francs, and beneficiaries paying not more than 20,000 Rwandan francs.
Viewers, a report sums up our tonight's edition, but before we step out, we'll give you a quick recap of our headlines. 2022-2023 high school leaving examinations say the advice given to them by parents and teachers helped them to do well in exams. The Rwandan government has reaffirmed its commitment to enhancing the mining sector, aiming at maximizing the value derived from its abundant resources. And to international matters, social media posts from the actual and ideological battlefields of the Israel-Hamas war have been polarizing young people in the United States, sometimes leading to threats of violence. And that's all from us here at RBA's Rwanda Television News. On behalf of the entire news production as well as the technical team, many thanks for being with us, and we wish you a great week and a great and productive week ahead. And up until next time, stay safe. Goodbye. Have a great evening.